and welcome to the God is a Geek podcast. My name is Adam Cook, and I am joined, it's not just me and Adam this week, I'm joined by a full cast of characters. They're not characters, they're real people, starting with Adam Carroll.
Hey, hi, good to see you, good to hear you. Can't see you, but I can hear you.
No, don't ruin it.
Oh, shit, sorry.
It's good to see you across the table from me in the same room that we're definitely in.
In our studio, yes.
And Chris White, how are you in exactly the same room that we're in together, all of us at the same time?
I'm good, mate. Have you done sort of your hair? It looks nice.
Yeah, when I took my trousers off, I just put it on top of my head.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's
I
good.
thought you might have mentioned the trousers first, but it's fine, the hair's good.
No, I'm good with everyone not wearing any trousers. It's nice.
All right.
How are you, mate? Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Good. Bit poorly still, but I'm alright.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't shake it.
No, it's like come back again because my wife got ill and then I seem to have caught it and then just had this fever all week. It's been pretty shit.
God.
But it's games, so
games.
There you go.
And sitting silently. I said there's no characters here, but is Gary Bailey a character or is he a real person?
I'm a real boy. I'm if we're all in the same room, honestly we are.
Sorry,
I think I'll be looking at the ceiling right now if everyone else is pantsless.
Well, we are, but
don't lie. You be having a gleg.
Gary's not only pants. No, having a what? Sorry, gleg.
Gleg, yeah.
What's that mean?
I've never heard that one.
Maybe it's a Derbyshire thing. I don't know.
But isn't Gary from sort of around the northern regions?
I'm like Manchester, so it's a little bit. Yeah.
Hang on, who's more northern?
Gary.
Oh wow, I thought there would be a bit more of an argument over that. I thought that was like a pride thing.
No,
You'd be like, hang on.
I'm in the East Midlands. I'm like the Derby's like one of the most central towns of England. So,
Chris, mate, as someone who lives on the south coast, you are northern.
Everyone's
like you are. Yeah. You may as well be in Scotland at this point. Like it's. What, Adam? You're sort of neither northern. Yeah, no, I know. You've masked the accent so well all these years.
I've just learned something new today.
Yeah. There was me thinking you were Welsh. I thought he was Welsh.
Well, to be honest, I think I said this before, but when I was in Canada, I was called Jamaican, or asked if I was Jamaican.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, correct. So let's never forget. Never forget.
And let's never forget, but never speak of it again. Because lads, I mean, listen, when people hear this, it may be like sunny and the weather, it might be 30 degrees. Is that hot? I don't know, Fahrenheit or Celsius. But outside, the weather outside is frightful.
Yeah.
But the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it go, let it go.
Ooh.
Chris has been playing Kingdom Hearts 3. That was pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
I was working on that on the toilet earlier.
Good. It paid
you
off.
It paid off. The silence speaks volumes. Chris, Kingdom Hearts 3. I had played a little bit of it last week. I believe Adam Carroll has actually played some of it as well.
Yes, I am.
But Chris, I know for a fact, a little bird, well, you, I don't know what that says about my thoughts about you, but a little bird tells me he's finished this game.
I finished it, yeah. Oh my god.
How long did it take? Roughly. I won't hold you to the exact hourage.
About 29, 30 hours.
That's not bad.
Yeah. But it's such a... Because, right, for one of the first times in my life playing a game, I had... Because without ruining anything, because obviously... not that it fucking matter, to be honest, because it's so... the story is... Oh, my God. Anyway, I
like the fact that even trying to explain the story, you're making yourself sound confused.
I can't. I can give you the most simplest plot of what it's about, but other than that, like it's nuts. But like for the first time in a long time, maybe ever, I had to pause. I had to leave my PS4 on overnight because it was halfway in a boss battle, and I couldn't. I wasn't sure if it would go back to the very start of this chain of boss battles, which at this point there was at least 3 bastard hard boss fights where there was no save point. There was a retry point.
Chris. Of course, Chris, you sure do hate Kingdom Hearts. Of course.
Yeah, anyway. So I had
Can we just make this podcast that from now on? Like just Donald noises.
Disney impressions, yeah.
I just want to... Who was Adam?
Mickey.
Oh, that's good. Was that Adam again with Donald, or was that you, Chris?
That was me.
I mean, you were in the same room, obviously, but I just wanted to be...
You did not see my lips move? Yeah, it was me.
No, I was looking at the floor.
But it's very tough towards the end. It's very honestly, I don't know where to start because I'm still trying to formulate my ideas to write it. So, go on.
No, I know.
Go for it.
I say I got a question for it. It's actually not really related to Kingdom Hearts 3, but I'm going to ask it.
Go for it.
Is it just... I was thinking about this today as well. Not on the toilet this time. I was walking the dog and I was just thinking about Kingdom Hearts 3 because I do want to go back to it. Is it just me that finds Donald Duck's voice really funny? Like he doesn't...
Mate,
it just... No, I can't help... I don't know why. No, it's really funny.
100% right. I've said that.
He's always been funny.
I constantly play it like...
No, but I don't mean he's saying jokes, Gaz. I mean just him... Like we are speaking now.
Yeah, you're right. Everything he says throughout this game makes me laugh. Like, and I was like wondering what I was doing when I was laughing to myself, but he just says things. It doesn't have to be a joke, but he's just he's the MVP.
But you're saying that she wasn't getting the same thing you were getting. Like, no. Adam, what about you? Are you with us or against us? Are you against Disney?
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
Like, I'm a massive Disney fan.
No, but do you find Donald funny just all the time?
No.
Oh, for God's sake!
I know. I'm sorry. Like I'm our early impression here for me, but I'm just going to say that like Goofy and Donald Duck are just painfully annoying. I know,
I'm not. I know that's a given.
Yeah, but it sounds like a Grinch thing. It's really like I know I'm playing a Disney game, but Jesus, do you remember last week, Adam? You said there was a moment where like you laughed out loud.
Yeah,
like. Goofy, I know Goofy is Goofy, but I think I'm just at a stage now where I'm like, he's just irritating. He's just a clown. It's just like.
Well, I mean, so again, we're not really talking about the game at all at this point, but like no, Goofy, I'm told is a cow, not a dog.
What?
Yeah, I'm told that Goofy is a cow.
How the fuck is he a cow?
Well, that makes sense.
I'm not saying. Well, I mean,
that
makes sense.
How does that make sense?
Yeah, because in this world, there's hang on, Pluto's a dog. So why isn't he talking? Maybe in this world, dogs are dogs.
The thing.
And then, therefore, if he is a cow,
a dragon.
He talks.
The idea of a light bulb just coming over Chris's head as I say Goofy's a cow. That makes sense, I guess. Just believes it. I mean, it makes me think about Disney and the Donald thing. Like I say, it's kind of genius because they obviously went right. We got animals that are going to talk. Someone just said, "Well, I suppose what if he's off screen? How will we know he's still Donald Duck?" And it's just like, well, what if simultaneously while speaking he's also quacking, and it just it's just because that's what his voice is, isn't it? It's an angry man quacking at the same time.
I think that's what brilliant. It is. He's just a cynic like me, and I'm an old. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's our age.
But I know it's 30 hours ago for you at this point, but I do want to quickly ask Adam. Did you, the bit in the beginning where you go to? Well, the game's out now. This isn't a spoiler. It starts at Olympus. The bit where I said about last week, I was trying not to spoil, where Donald gets stuck on a statue after being thrown, and he's just like, that must have made you laugh, surely. Because when he's angry, there's nothing funnier than when he's angry. Like he's the angry little man,
I can snigger at it, I guess. Like Donald Duck
is Donald Trump. He's just an angry little man.
But aside from that man's voice,
Donald Duck is entertaining.
I want to know where Chris is sitting with this game.
Yeah, Chris, what's the game like?
This is like, Chris, am I correct in saying, have you played every Kingdom Hearts game or just one and two?
Adam, I can answer that. Nobody's played all of them. Nobody has.
Probably somebody right now giving out.
So I played the first two, and then when
that doesn't help. Which are the first two?
It doesn't because
not,
this Kingdom Hearts 3 is not a sequel to Kingdom Hearts 2.
No, but I mean that doesn't help saying the first two. Is that Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2?
Oh yeah, no, sorry,
like the first
Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2.
Because there's 100 games.
The numbered series. And then I played when they released.
See, that doesn't help either because there's like 2.8 as well.
The first two in the series, 1 and 2.
So Chris tries to explain it. He's just sighing. I play. Oh, for God's sake.
So last year they released 2.8, which features like Dream Drop Distance, and which essentially is where this one kind of leads from. And then there was a few others on that. That was like a film on there which relates to this as well. Anyway,
of course there was a film.
There was it was a part of this fucking game. So anyway, the story is just dog shit. I'm not gonna it's even as someone who's played as many as he could possibly play. bar maybe one on the
Game Boy Advance
Famicom or the fucking.
So hang on. The story's shit, right? Okay, I'm not.
I think that just before you go on with there, because I really think that's a major thing to say right there.
But that's what I want to ask about. Though.
This
that's
is
what I want to say. Do you care? That's what I was going to ask. Is the story shit?
What I'm trying to say is,
do you care?
The story, in terms of how you follow it, is ridiculous because there's core concepts to the story which are fantastic, which is the simplicity and the kind of the friendship and the kind of the more emotional beats, which I completely get, and the friendships between them all. But it's the way it tries to bring in all these different characters. So it's got characters, then it's got versions of those characters which have been cloned, then it's versions of them from the past. You don't know who you're fighting or where they're from because it never really makes it clear. You're supposed to remember from 10, 20 years ago or whatever when 2 and 1 came out, and
I was worried that this was going to be a short pod, and then I forgot. I've just remembered we're talking about Kingdom Hearts. There was never a fear of this bit.
I haven't actually talked about the game. This is it.
I know.
So when I say the story's shit, I just think it's just poorly executed when they're trying to bring this plot to a finale. But it's the smaller moments, like I enjoyed like the stories for most of the worlds. Like the Toy Story one is excellent. And it doesn't like.
But was that not a home run? Like, was that not a home run? Like a gimme? Was that not a gimme really?
Well, yeah. I mean, it doesn't follow anything. Like some of them follow the film, some kind of follow from what happened after the film. Some are literal like parallels. But like the Toy Story one, there's something that like they say, and it's not a story. I'm not going to ruin anything. It's just I find it really fascinating that I don't know whether it's canon or not, but they go to a toy store, obvs, and they see like toys that aren't moving or talking. And they're like, Sora's like, why aren't they like you? To Woody, and he goes, they just haven't realised it yet. And to me, that's
that was in one of the films, wasn't it? That was.
I think that was Toy Story 2 when they were like.
Yeah.
Oh, was it 2?
Yeah, I think it's when they met is it Zurg. And they do the whole "I am your father" thing.
Don't forget, Buzz doesn't know he's a toy at first. Remember either. Well,
in the first one, he doesn't.
Yeah, but I mean, they're like
really sad
they don't move or anything.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, but I'm sure there is something because I'm not being funny. Like all cynicism aside, and like this, we said the story shit and stuff. Like I've got to ask this, right? I bet your girls loved the Frozen stuff, right? I bet they were just like, what is this, Dad? I bet they loved that stuff, right?
So Frozen, when it came out, for about 2 solid years, all I got in this house was fucking the soundtrack. Like, I'm not even joking. It was on every day for 2 years solid, pretty much. But now they're a bit old. I'd say Evie more. She was into like Big Hero 6 and like Pirates of the Caribbean, especially Big Hero 6 because she likes Baymax, the big white marshmallow robot. So there was
Chris,
a lot.
Please, I think we all know who Baymax is.
Yeah, there was a lot to love outside of just Frozen, and at the end of the day, it just follows the story. So it's like she goes to the ice castle, she builds the ice castle. In fact, the whole "Let It Go" song is literally just in it from start to finish.
Is it really in its entirety?
Yeah.
What, like as a playable music, like as a cutscene?
No, yeah, just as one of the many hundreds of cutscenes.
Why am I surprised? Why the hell did I actually... I'm going to listen to this back and go, you twat, why were you surprised at that?
Yeah.
Like, of course it is.
But,
But the game...
Right, so combat is fantastic. Like, absolutely fantastic. So
you... Oh, no, I was going to say Adam's played it now. Sorry, carry on, Chris. Go on.
That's all right. So, obviously, when you go through the world, you collect Keyblades. And they're all themed on different worlds. So each Keyblade has 3 stages. So when you fight a horde of what are they called, Heartless or Unversed or Nobodies or whatever they are, because there's millions, you build up the power. When it gets to a certain point, you press triangle, and then it activates the next stage of that Keyblade, which has different abilities, whether it's a magic one or it focuses more on strength. And then the final stage, you press triangle again. It activates the final power, and then in that final power you press triangle to do a finisher, and it does a load of damage. On top of that, you've got the attraction flow, which is great, and it's essentially
they're glorious.
Certain little green icons appear above one enemy in a particular battle. If you hit that enemy, then you get a special attraction, and it will appear where your power up it appears at the bottom. So by pressing triangle with an attraction, it brings up like a literal Disneyland attraction. So there's a pirate ship, but they're all illuminated like neon lights. So a pirate ship will come along and take out enemies, and you can press X to make it like swing. And there's like a water rapids. There's a carousel. There's a runaway train, and they
sounds like summons.
They're essentially
sort of
a little
are,
bit, yeah. Because on top of that, you've got the links, which you'll unlock as you go through, and they've been in the other games where you can unlock certain like characters from Disney films. So like Wreck-It Ralph's in there, and Ariel and Stitch and a few others. And when you've got them, you can bring them into your world for a split second, and they can do specific damage. Then on top of that, you'll in different worlds you'll acquire one of the main characters from that world, and so essentially like Baymax. We'll talk about Baymax. If he I'm talking about us building up our Keyblade. If he builds up his power, he gets a power as well. And when you press triangle, you can use his power, as did Donald and Goofy. Now, I know it sounds like there's a lot. It sounds like there's a lot, but they build up. So there's like a layer of, say, 4, maybe sometimes there's 4 at a time. So it could be your second Keyblade power, then an attraction, then Baymax's power, then Goofy's. And they've all got like 30 seconds to count down. So if you manage to press triangle and it uses your Keyblade power, then press triangle again before the next one runs out, it will use the attraction, then the next one, Baymax. And it's mental, but it doesn't take long to click. But when you've got all these power-ups, and it's incredible. Like it really is fantastic.
I felt like it's a simplistic system that doesn't feel simplistic in a good way. No, like it feels like it's almost mashy, but I think because of so many layers, it doesn't. I mean, there are parts of it that feel mashy, and there are some parts that feel slightly awkward, like the way you can sort of spin around, like the way the movement. I guess I'm talking about like in combat, where you can jump from pillars and do stuff, and
there's all that as well.
I'll be honest with you, I just kept thinking about this game, and I just kept thinking if this was a turn-based game in terms of the combat, I think it would probably end up something I would want to play an awful lot more of. I do like it, but I'm intrigued as to what Adam's thinking, because I don't know how far in he is.
Yeah, so I just finished the first world,
right?
And I agree with everything Chris is saying so far. I just want to add in that I think the opening world of being in Olympus is fairly dog shit.
Yeah.
I think it's really underwhelming, and it's just it just made it feel like, I know it's a Disney-esque game, but it did genuinely feel like I was playing Disney Infinity at first.
That's what it is, yeah.
So, I get what you're saying, but like the Kingdom Hearts 2, for example, featured a really drawn-out, dull tutorial, like prologue bollocks that took ages for you to get into it.
This doesn't, does it?
So this literally gives you Olympus, because you've been there before. Well, it is an old world, but it just gives you a chance to get in there and do it. And then that's when the new 6 worlds, the new like themed Disney worlds.
So can I ask you a question about them? Actually,
yeah, go for it.
Like, I don't want to try your best not to spoil if you can.
Yeah.
The question I have is that I think a lot of games that are kind of, I don't want to call this open world, because it's not, is it? They're kind of the worlds are levels, I guess. But the thing I was feeling about, and again, I'm only there still, I haven't had a chance to go out. The thing I was feeling about that first opening world, Olympus, is that it feels quite sparse. Like there isn't much to it. Like
yes, there
do you remember the complaints about Final Fantasy 13, that it was a great looking game and it had a good system, so that, but it felt like you were constantly running down corridors for the whole game.
Yes, yeah.
Again, without spoiling, because I don't even know all the worlds. I mean, I know there's Toy Story, I know there's Frozen. Perhaps I do know them without realising. But is that... Because that was one thing that would put me off, if all the worlds were just like, you start the level and you're here, and you just go forward to the end where there'll be a boss of some description, and you do that thing again. And are they all... Do you know what I mean when I say they feel sparse? Like they feel like they're designed for you to run through them, have a couple of encounters, and get to the end. It doesn't feel like a world.
So I completely understand. So before the game was released, they announced all the worlds. So
okay,
I'm gonna bring up a couple that people would have known about. If you don't want to know, don't listen for the next few minutes. But I'm not ruining anything. You've got Pirates of the Caribbean, which allows you to take part. Like the open world part of this is the sea. So it is like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but it's a lot kind of. like it's a lot more streamlined. Like the ship battles in it. So
that sounds good.
You go off and it is one of the better parts of the game. And like when it's all, well, no, I'm not gonna say it. But basically, you can go around this world and you can just take part in gun battles, and there are opportunities to come back. That's all I want to say.
So is this loads of games within a game?
To a point. So Pirates is like that. There's another world, which again, this I don't want to ruin it, but there is another world which is more open, and it makes sense for it to be more open because of what you can do in it. The frozen world is probably the shittest because it's just dull. It's just snow everywhere. The level design's a bit weak. There's not.
Is this where you tell me it's the second world?
No.
Okay, thank God
No,
for
it's
that.
not. And like there are a lot of good elements to all the Disney worlds. Some are worse than others, but a lot of them and also some of the stories are just you just want to get through them to kind of progress. But then like people think like the Disney worlds, and then it's kind of done. There's like another whole game, so it's like that's why it's 30 to 40 hours. And outside of the actual kind of story, if you want to, there's tons of other stuff. There's like mini games in different worlds you'd unlock. There's a video game inside a video game, which is genius, which you'll see very soon.
Okay.
And it's like a Final Fantasy game. It's fucking clever. Like you'll know because it's very, very, very early on. But there's a game within a game which you get to kind of play. You can go back into that world and play. So when it comes to controlling Sora, it really is like fantastic at times. Mm-hmm. There are some frustrations, like the whole gummy ship. I just felt no inclination to upgrade my ship or take part in the battles because I just want to get to the next place. I don't really care.
And that's baffling. That's baffling to hear that because apparently the fans weren't into the gummy ship at all. Like it's in 1 and 2 they were just like, no, it's repetitive, it's boring. And to hear this, like this is my main thing, is that to get a game like this, for me personally, I played a fair bit of 1 and it wasn't really for me again. Now, I am enjoying this a little bit more, but it just really baffles me that like the story is what it is. And I'm sorry, like, but I'm not fucking accepting the fact that it's like this confusing for a Disney
I
kind of site.
agree.
It's ridiculous. Like, it's like I watch recap videos and everybody is just, it makes no sense. Like, I don't know what is going on. And then what's hilarious is they actually, I remember messaging you, Adam, about going, did they add in this memory archive thing there since day one?
I think they've added that because I booted it today and it says you can now look at this. So, I'm like, oh.
So that got added in, and it's 5 episodes, what they're calling, which are about like 4 or 5 minutes long. And it's supposed to give you a recap of the story. It's terrible. It's like I still don't get a proper explanation of what's going on. But what they do inform me many times before starting the goddamn game is what game I'm playing. Kingdom Hearts 3 title screen comes up, I'd say, around 5 or 6 times.
I told you.
It's hilarious. But like when I'm going along in the world, I'm like, okay, so this is it. This is Kingdom Hearts, and something just feels off. And I'm like, obviously, everyone can be saying, well, it's because you haven't played the rest of them. Yeah, all right. But the thing is, I was hoping this game was going to be not that situation. I thought like a lot of people would have been able to come in, get a massive recap in some way, have the story explained or learn from it, and off we go. And the thing is, it was just the kind of pacing of it, the introduction, it was just odd. The cutscene with the theme tune that I didn't actually mind. I actually don't mind that song, whatever it was. But it was just a weird kind of introduction, and then off we go, and I'm in Olympus, and I'm kind of getting used to the combat, and I'm like, okay, the combat is fun. But my good God, lads, the camera is atrocious. The camera in the game is awful. Like, there's moments where when you're fighting like big bosses or like a Titan or something on Olympus, it does that thing where the camera can't actually figure out what angle you're at, so the camera just goes into your fucking skull, and you're just like, as the player, you're kind of going, where the hell am I going? And it's a bit messy in that sense, and there's all these random things being thrown at you, and when everything's kind of happening at once, I kind of love it. I do love like all these special abilities that kind of come into place, but I don't know if I'm meaning any of it. And I'm like...
Oh, see, I didn't find that. I felt like the combat, I was doing stuff and it pops up and you get to choose whether it's triangle or not.
Oh, yeah, obviously that. But, I think there's elements of, like, timing it correctly. Like, I think Goofy's one has some rocket thing that he fires down, but it kind of, like, has to be in the same area almost as an enemy in order to connect. And that's fine and all, but it doesn't help when the camera's this kind of... For me, it's just a bit rough in that sense. And... I hope this isn't the case, but coming from the fact it's like I'm playing on PS4 and it's like Disney Pixar kind of style game. Now I am only going into like the second world and stuff, but like the Olympus kind of world in general just felt like a HD like remaster. It like I didn't feel it looked great at all. Like Hercules looks really strange in the background, I felt, and why do they all call him Herc, by the way?
Well, same reason people call me Ads.
No one calls you Eds.
Actually, no, nobody calls me Adam. That's genuinely nobody. I don't even think my wife does now. Everyone just calls me Ads or nicknames I'm not repeating on here. I'll be honest with you, the thing I really want to know is, as a super fan of both Disney and Pixar and all that kind of stuff, how's Gaz getting on with the game? What's the haps, Gaz? What's the dealio? Bazinga,
Yeah, like I'm playing this.
Oh,
would you not play it?
Oh,
no, I just wouldn't bother. Because
I just wouldn't.
I played some of the first and the second one back on PS2, and I couldn't get into them. I didn't really like the gameplay of it. Just the story, I couldn't even tell you what the story was. I don't even remember. It
Gary,
didn't
no
stick.
one can.
Just doesn't interest me. Even though I love stuff like Tangled, Toy Story,
The Incredibles,
Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, I love all that, but I just no interest. I think a lot. No, it's just it's the fact that I don't know. These games just feel too much like they've tried to go Final Fantasy with it. With the story, and it's right. Like that just does not suit Disney.
I'll tell you what, just
in any way.
What Gary's saying, he's got a point, because obviously we know these Disney films like the back of our hand, well, most of them, but the dialogue is just like, oh my god, at times it's cringy, or it's just slow to deliver a line, and it does feel very much like a Final Fantasy game, which I get.
Weird.
But it just there's no real correlation between the Disney films and Final Fantasy.
See, the first game, the draw to me was the Final Fantasy characters. The first game.
And Chris, you saying that there, you finished it and all. Do you think that's an issue as such in terms of because how long has it been since has this game been in development?
13 years.
13 years. Okay.
I believe.
Does it kind of, for you now that it's finished the whole game, does it feel like in parts like a game that would have been 13 years ago, maybe kind of you can see some elements of it that feels 13 years old? Or is it continuously fresh? Because as I was saying, in that first world, it feels like an old kind of game. I don't feel like it's very smooth, but I'm hoping that the rest of it kind of gets polished, because I just got into the gummy ship and Jesus, it's not great at all. The gummy ship is not great, and as I said, fans hate it, and I'm like, wow, this is very bare.
I think parts of it do feel old. It's clear to see why they needed. I'm not saying they needed 13 years to make this game, but it does. I can see why they needed longer, because if not just to make all the cutscenes, because I read there's over 230 cutscenes in this game, and they're not all 30 seconds long. Some go on for a while, and there's such a constant pause of of playing to watch a cutscene, then to play for a bit longer, then a cutscene. There's very rarely a chance where the game just flows for more than 10 minutes unless you're fighting a boss. So I think there are like when you are like in a big battle and you're using all your attractions and all your other stuff, because there's like another thing called, I think it's called the art lock, where you hold the R1 and you've got a couple of powers that way. There's so much there that I could see how it took so long to get that bit spot on, but it does feel older in certain parts. But just like from it, because this is, I mean, I literally finished it as talking this morning, so it's still very kind of raw, and I'm trying. I don't want to write just yet because I need to just really think about it. But once the controller was put down, it was quite emotional, just because of like it's been so long, and this journey that I've been on, as frustrating and as painful at times as it was, I absolutely loved elements of it. And like Sora as a character, although he never seems to be that distressed, he's always kind of positive, and like
he's the Leon Kennedy of Kingdom Hearts, isn't he?
Yeah, and it just
Gaz is just raging.
Fuck you, Gary.
I don't know. I just
I was just going to say boring, but you know,
I enjoyed it, but I can't formulate anything just yet.
Well, that's fine, because we've talked a lot about Kingdom Hearts, and we will come back to it, I think, because Adam's going to keep playing it. I am as well. And I will, Chris, as he's just said, he's literally finished it the day of recording. He's going to go and write his review. We did say when we got code, we're not rushing this review. We're going to play through the game at our own pace. If you're waiting for the review, it's coming. Probably by the time you hear this, it might even be up, unless you're a Patreon, which, by the way, $1 a month to get the podcast early and extended. So they put that out there. But let's go back to Gary. You're not playing Kingdom Hearts because you hate fun. That's two. Gareth, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Hades.
I've heard of it.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of based on your recommendation. And
Thank you.
I kind of see why you recommended it. I mean, I said this like in our Slack channel that it is basically an isometric Dead Cells.
With a bit more story, I would say.
Yeah, I mean,
which is amazing since this is early access.
It's got that kind of Supergiant story polish to it.
Voice work, music.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realise, obviously, until I played it, that it was funny.
Yeah.
Like the whole concept is you're the son of Hades and you're trying to escape, basically.
It's light-hearted, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like, if people don't know, it's a roguelike, and whenever you die, you're basically back at this, you emerge from this pool of blood, like just in front of Hades, essentially, who's then like, so how did this escape attempt go? And it just keeps sort of going and going, like every time he's got more snark to him. And
how much have you played out of interest, Gaz? Like,
it's not a lot. I've only played about an hour or so.
I would say, I won't spoil things, but I would say keep going, give it a few more hours, because there's have you got it or not? There's an area that opens up that you wouldn't even know exists in that hub, and there's stuff that happens, like basically every time you die, talk to everyone, and then go and do another run, then die, come back and talk to everyone each time, because it's every single time it's unique dialogue and things happen and you get stuff.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. Like, I did sort of go and talk to people. I mean, to be fair, the first time I didn't even realise that Achilles was there. So like, the first time I got there, I just spoke to Hades and Cerberus because, of course, Cerberus doggo. And then like I spoke to Nyx, and I forget the name of the first person you speak to.
John.
Yep, that's him.
Yeah.
Michael.
Sora.
Craig.
But I spoke to like them and didn't even realise that other area kind of existed until like my second time there. But it is great, and like Skelly, when you go into like the weapons room, and you just got this skeleton who basically appears solely to let you beat the shit out of him and test out your new weapons.
Have you unlocked all the weapons yet so far?
Not yet. No, I've got I've got enough to unlock one more at the minute, and then I've got one left after that, because I think there's 4 altogether.
Yeah, and they all play, like the shield, for example, was very different. Like, it's really interesting. That's the one I haven't played much of. The bow and arrow are actually really interesting as well. Like,
yeah, I was surprised with that, because I obviously you start with the sword, and that's like, oh, cool, sword combat, fairly simple, but it's also quite difficult. You do get hit quite a lot.
Yeah, you take a lot of hits, yeah.
Whereas with the bow and arrow, you can hang back a little bit more, but it's timing based. And
so you can unlock like the ability to like double dash, and so you can dash away. You can actually chain dash and stuff. So it adds it a bit like Hyper Light Drifter. You know how you can dash in that game. It actually adds in the second one because there's a skill tree, unlock paths that you can. Well, is it a spoiler? I won't say it just in case no, I won't. But like, there's a lot. Like, do you know the thing I come away thinking about this game? This is early access, right? It's exclusive to Epic Games Store currently, early access, and I love the fact that every time you boot it, it tells you when the next update's going to be in the bottom corner. Like it says like 21 days or whatever. But this is early access, Gaz. Doesn't feel it, does it?
Not really. Not at all, actually. 'Cause it's very well polished.
Like, if this was on PS4 or Switch as a game to buy, I'd have no hesitation recommending it.
The only thing is, like, obviously I've only played it, but I don't know if it's like you can play it beginning to end story wise.
Yeah,
or whether it's like you can only play
to
a certain point. Yeah, but
no, I'm pretty sure you can run through. I'm sure I've read people like they've run through the bosses and stuff. I mean, to me, it looks like they're going to add more weapons because there's literally plinths for more weapons.
Yeah,
Have you got to the point where you can use the cabinet to the left of the weapons yet?
Don't think so.
No. So there you go. So there is a cabinet to the left of the weapons, sort of. So it's like the weapons are like they're in a kind of arrow shape, I guess. The weapon slots, and then on the left there's like a little cabinet.
Oh, wait, is that like the cabinet where you
yeah,
when you can gift nectar, whatever it is?
That's it.
Yeah, I've only given one of those out so far, so I've not been to the cabinet since.
Okay, because you go in there and you can basically you can unlock skills and stuff as well. I think it's fantastic. It does remind me of Dead Cells, but I feel the same way about it as Dead Cells. It's like, oh wow, this one, and again, the fact that it's got that thing where we're going to update it in 20 days or whatever. In fact, it must be coming up. I think the next update might be soon, and it's like great because that means if I get my fill of it, I know when to come back.
Yeah, and because I could see myself coming back to this a few times.
Yep,
it is enjoyable to play and. I like how it changes every time as well. Like you start off kind of from scratch each time, and you get given new powers, and each time you get a power, you've got a choice of like 3 which to use, and it's like it can give you a power with your dash or with your magic, or just with your regular attack or something like that. And so it just makes every run different, even if you use the same weapon every time. You've always got
those powers tend to. I think they randomise based on what weapon you've got. But also, like the other thing I was going to say is, I'm pretty sure one of the things they said about the early access thing is that the voice work's not final, and like I kind of hope they don't change any of it because it's really good.
I mean, the only one I'd say is I can't remember his name. Like the main character. He sometimes is a little bit flat, but
yep, the rest of them are good.
But yeah, I mean, Hades is brilliant. Like he's kind of perfectly done in the fact that he sounds like a bastard basically, and whenever you get there and he's giving you shit, basically he's just got that tone that suits every time. It's very condescending.
Oh, he's done with your shit.
Oh yeah,
isn't he?
And he's just like, he's supposed to be your dad, but clearly he doesn't give a shit anymore. And I mean, he's still Hades, obviously, like god of the underworld, so maybe he never did give a shit in the first place. But it's just little jokes and stuff that happen throughout, and just little comments here and there. Like, you've got, like, the narrator, aren't you, that comes up every now and again, and then at one point, your character just goes, "You realise I can hear you, right?"
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, it's very... I know, it's very... intelligent the way the humour's handled.
It pisses me off that more people don't lose their shit over Supergiant, because for me they're 4 for 4 now.
See, I've not played the last game they did.
Pyre.
Yeah,
it was good.
thing is, even if you don't love Pyre, what a unique game! My God, like they made a new sport.
Yeah, and if you didn't love Pyre, Bastion, for God's sake, and
Bastion
Transistor.
Transistor's my favourite one of theirs.
Yeah, Transistor, I couldn't get into it for some reason. I don't know why.
Soundtrack,
but
for that game.
I mean, it looks gorgeous and everything, but I don't know. There's something about the gameplay I just couldn't get into. But Bastion, yeah, I mean that was just so well done.
They're just, like I say, for me, even though fine, they could cock this up. It's not finished. It's not a final game. But for me, they are 4 for 4, and this sounds incredibly... I feel like I'm going to say this, and it sounds kind of partially patronising and also partially arrogant, but you can kind of tell that there's someone at their studio who used to be a games journo, like in Greg Kasavin, because I feel like because they're an independent studio, they are making the kind of games they want to play in the same way that other indies do, whereas sometimes you fall into the trap of, like, for example, the Assassin's Creed team have to make another Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and I feel like Supergiant have got an MO, and I feel like they play to it. Yeah, I love it. I really love it. I can't wait to see where they go with it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to play more of this and keep trying it with each update.
Yeah.
See what they change, see what they add.
Yeah. I'm going to quickly mention. Ace Combat 7 is now on PC, so I thought it was as good a time as any to talk about the game. I've been playing a bit of that today. Chris, have you played any of it?
Yeah. I brought it up on the pod a couple of weeks ago, the VR mode.
That's right.
And I've played some of the main game, but like only a couple of missions. But the VR, been loving.
It's great, isn't it? The game in general.
Yeah. It's very good.
It doesn't play much differently to how I remember the games playing.
But this is the thing, I've never played one before. I've completely missed the series. So it was a nice introduction for me.
They've always kind of played this way. The story.
Yeah.
This game's an anime.
Yeah.
Well, I think the last... I've only ever played a bit of the first... I think it might have been the very first one on PS1, and I think I did play one of the PS2 ones, and I remember it having anime cutscenes between missions.
It's real. It's kind of realistically modelled people now, but it's full on. This is an anime. I'm not being funny. The missions take roughly 20 minutes. Some of them more, some less.
Yeah.
I was literally putting the controller down between them for 10 minutes. There's a long cutscene, a long mission briefing. Then there's skill trees to unlock plane stuff.
And then you get to watch the whole of your last battle if you want.
You can watch. That's insane. I really like this game. It runs really well on PC actually as well. I was going to say really well on PC. I'm really surprised that I haven't played an Ace Combat since the Xbox 360 generation, and quite early on in it, if I remember correctly. I think it was 5.
Yeah.
And
have you had a chance to play in it? Is it VR on PC as well?
No, it's not on PC. It's only on
PSVR.
PS4. I have got a copy on PS4, but I'm testing a graphics card, so I wanted to be playing some PC games.
Yeah, it's definitely worth giving it a go.
I kind of want to, because but the thing is, I kind of wish it was PC VR, because I do have an Oculus Rift, and as much as I love the PSVR, and I think it's probably got some of the best games in VR, the fidelity is a little bit lost compared to PC VR, and I can just imagine it being insane if they allowed Vive or Rift. I don't get why it must be. I mean, it is exclusive to PSVR. It's really strange, but Ace Combat 7 is going to be one of those real surprise games for me. I kind of figured it would be an Ace Combat, because they always are. But I really like it. Really like it. To the point where I'm sitting there thinking, I kind of want to go and play some more AC7. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I am interested to play this myself.
I would say just go in with an open mind, except the story is going to be absolute anime batshit. The story opens with a 5-minute scene about a character who you then do not play as.
Yeah.
There is a 5-minute cutscene talking about, me and my father, and we built this plane, and then she finally gets to fly the plane, and then there's a story beat, and you're like, okay, I'm not her. What? And then after that mission, there's another scene with her in, and then you play another mission as someone else. I really kind of want to see where it goes.
And this is Ace Combat.
Ace Combat 7, yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't think anyone's playing it for a story, though, are they? It's just
I don't know. There are people out there on the internet that are very into the Ace Combat lore.
Jeez, that'd be some conversation.
But it's I just wanted to bring it up because, like Chris did the other week, it's getting smatterings of this is a good game, this is a good. I think this is a really, really good game, and it's sort of, even though we're only in February now, it is being kind of overlooked, and I think it's worth a go. I really do. If you've ever played one in the past, I think because there's. Where we are now, there's these games like Kingdom Hearts 3 that are these massive, sprawling games, or there's these games like Hades that are kind of really deep combat systems. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ace Combat 7 is kind of... It's a throwback, but done in a modern way. It reminds me of those old games that are kind of just, look, you pick your weapons, you pick your missiles, you go and shoot a load of shit, you dogfight in the sky.
To just start playing, isn't it? That easy.
And it's it is an arcade game because like you can do this. And maybe someone who's into aviation can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Tell us in the comments. But you can literally hold down the accelerator and the decelerator to do like a, what do they call it? Like a swift turn or something. It's just, but like the graphics are great as well. They're surprisingly good when you go into a cloud and it's raining and the rain hits the screen and then you break through the clouds to be above them and the rain dissipates and it's just it's surprisingly excellent and I want to play more.
Sounds like you've been playing a lot of really good games at the moment, Adam.
I have. I'm not going to mention this much more because I don't want to piss people off. I want to just very briefly, if it's all right, if you guys touch on Resi 2 again, just briefly, because I did start.
Caravan doors wide open there.
I've been waiting for this moment. This is like fucking WrestleMania right now.
He's just shouting out the window of the caravan. That's all that's happening at the minute.
I've been on the pod with Gary. I've been on the pod with Adam. Here we go, main event.
Well, you see, Chris has played some of this too, so I'm interested to see his thoughts. I don't think I've had time to have got far because of Kingdom Hearts, but
I haven't played anything other than that this week, so I'm looking forward to get back to it.
So I started my Claire playthrough today. My B playthrough. You know what I mean? My route B. Right? Didn't start again as Claire. I still say that Resident Evil 2 is a very good game. Okay, I still say that. But what I am left with an overall feeling of is, while it is a very good game, I also feel like it's a big missed opportunity. Because when you start playing as Claire, and I genuinely, this is like all bullshit aside, like we joke a lot on the pod, we always have a laugh. I'm genuinely intrigued to see, especially what Adam and Gary say about this. You start the campaign as Claire, and I will avoid. I mean, it's weird to say avoid spoilers because it is a remake, but I still will avoid specific beats. When you start the game as Claire, I feel like, this game's respecting my time. You get the cutscene at the beginning, and it's kind of an abridged version, and then the second cutscene is abridged. It's like we're just throwing you into the game. And you start the game as Claire, I want to say a couple of hours into... Well, it depends on how quick you are, but for me, a couple of hours into where, as Leon, you see Claire at the police station. And I'm thinking, this is great. Like, this is really cool. Again, they're respecting my time. They don't want me to play through... Although saying that, I would kind of like to play the bit before that and see how she got there, if I'm honest with you. That felt like a missing bit of content. Like, how did she get here? Regardless, I can accept that this is the point they feel we want your Route B to start. But then it does the thing we mentioned last week of basically you do then go into the police station, and even though Leon is in there somewhere doing his thing your thing that you did, there's a pair of bolt cutters outside the door, which in Leon's game are the other side of the grate, and you just pick them up. So it's like, are there two pairs or are there one? And you're still a bit like, okay. You run back and you cut open a door, get a key, get a gun, and you're back in the police station. Where, as Leon, when you're playing that exact part in time, you've just gone through and unlocked everything. But with Claire, you go through and the fuse box still needs a fuse. And the doors are locked, even though they can't be. And the problem I've got with it is, I appreciate that some people are going to be able to completely switch off and go, I have no problem with that. I do appreciate that. The problem I've got with it is that I feel like you've got a story that is running concurrently, but the gameplay is asynchronous, and it does not work for me. Like, you are asking me to believe that all the items you personally have picked up are back where they were or in different locations, but they are the same item. They are the thing you need to make the C4 explode. They are those things are there again, even though they can't be because the story is running concurrently, and you know it's running concurrently because there are beats in the playthrough A where you meet up the other person. Whether you're playing as Leon or Claire the first time through, you meet up with Leon or Claire, your opposition, your oppo. You meet up with them Well, rather, sorry, you don't meet up with them. There are story beats that showcase you in contact with them at the start, at the middle, and specifically at the end. And so the story is a concurrently running story. Leon and Claire exist in this world at the same time, going about their business. But when it comes to playing the game, it's asynchronous.
But if you were to... Do you think that this is just because it is video games in 2019?
No, I think that's completely unfair. That's the thing that bothers me, is that everything else about it they nail. The atmosphere, the combat, like the things that have the things you need to do to make a 20-year-old game feel like a 2019 game, they do. But they didn't go the whole way with it. And that's why I was saying last week, I feel like when you put a key in the item box, when you play through B as Claire, that key should be there. And if that breaks the game by making it easier, then but that's good. It should be a thing where it's like, hang on, you fucked up because as Leon you picked up every bit of ammo, and Claire goes through in route B and there's no ammo. But instead, right, another thing. We'll come back to that. The gun you get is bullshit. That gun's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. You are giving me a game where there is a randomised amount of shots that kill a zombie. It could be one headshot and it pops them, it could be 10. And you are giving me a gun that when I hit the right trigger to fire one shot, randomly fires 3 shots.
And I actually do want to say...
In a game with finite ammo.
I did not say that to you either, guys, because I completely forgot about it.
I don't remember this.
It's that cowboy gun.
It's the gun she sort of holds...
The kind of revolver.
Yeah, the one that you have to reload each bullet singly, individually.
I don't remember it firing 3 shots like that.
See, it's possible that's random and you got lucky. I had it happen twice in an hour. I literally, and the thing is, right, so say you shoot a zombie. Again, the thing I think I really do love about this game is how it panics the fuck out of you. Like, you try and get a headshot and you miss one, right? And then you're like, you can't help it. You panic fire and you miss another and then you miss another. And I think that's amazing. However, when you miss a headshot and the gun fires 3 shots for you, I'm sorry, that's bullshit.
Well, the thing is with that gun as well, like every time I did shoot, it would shoot 2 bullets. And the problem is, it's not only 2 bullets. When she initially shoots first, the gun kind of rises up and then she rises up again for the second time. So there's a very high chance. Like, you almost have to, like, not aim directly at the head. You almost should aim at their, like, chest. And then get a chest headshot because the gun kind of flies up. I see what you mean.
Yeah, kind of like like as if you're playing with an assault rifle and you aim at the middle, knowing that the bullet's going to drag up and hit head eventually.
I don't know, and it is fair game. Like when you did bring up that weapon today on messages, whatever, I texted
you earlier to be like, am I going mad?
Like, that gun is a nightmare. And one of my friends is currently playing as well. And I was in his house the other night, and he's going through the Claire story, and he said himself, he was like, this gun's a dose. And I was like, yeah, this gun is a fucking nightmare. Like, because it doesn't feel powerful, and it feels like a nuisance. Like, I don't know and I don't know why she is holding it the way she's holding it. Like,
well, I think that's because you're supposed to feel. Look, Leon's a cop. He's done weapons training.
Yeah.
I genuinely actually can't remember Claire's backstory other than she's Chris's brother. I get the feeling she's holding it like that because she is not military trained.
I know they've changed it slightly because I think originally she was just a student and she rocks up at... Well, because in the original she doesn't have a gun. She gets one out of the car with Leon.
That's right,
Whereas in this one she comes already sort of packing heat.
Didn't he give her a gun?
I think... I think in this one they made it that basically like Chris has kind of taught her how to shoot.
Like taught his sister at it. So
which kind of makes sense if he's looking out after his sister. He wants her.
I don't want to make this feel like I'm shitting on Gaz because I respect Gaz. Like I say, all jokes aside, and I do. I respect Gaz. I respect how much he loves this game. And do you know what? I love how much he loves this game because that's what there should be that game. You know, and every few months, even there should be that game. You're like, oh God, I love this, and I'm so happy that Gary feels that way. But I'm kind of miserable. I don't because by the end of Leon's playthrough, again, I'm not going to spoil. By the end of Leon's playthrough, I kind of had a feeling of like, because we talked on the pod last week about you get the keys that that every Resi has, like the key with a heart on it or whatever, and I put them in the lockup thinking, I just wonder will they have done that, and they don't. And just for me, it feels like they could have gone deeper and made that route B feel more unique and special, whereas what it actually feels like is and I know there are going to be rooms and stuff. There are rooms at the very start you can get in, but I'm starting to feel a bit like if you're going to give me a gun that fires more than one bullet when I press the trigger, if you're going to give me finite ammo and you're going to give me an aim that really requires me to have a steady hand, I feel like you're taking the piss when you start throwing liquors at me when all I've got's a pistol. Like, and I understand, because what it feels like to me is that Route B is not supposed to be right, you finished Route A, play Route B. It's supposed to be actually, right, so the end of the cutscene at the end of Route A should then go straight into Route B, because it feels like you're supposed to kind of be in the rhythm of the game, whereas coming back 3 days later, I'm totally out of the rhythm, and I'm like, fuck, I can't cope with this. Let's just, like, start in... It's like playing the game for the first time in the middle of the game, and that's...
I'm like, over the last few days when you're texting me, I am pretty shocked by how, like, you are thrown off by it. But I do think a lot of your points are valid. But I think
it's whether you're bothered by it, isn't it? A lot of the things I'm raising. It is definitely
whether you're bothered by it or not. Like, I personally still absolutely adored the game. Like I love it, and I'm very excited to go back and play it again. But I do see your points. But I think overall, and I don't know if you'll ever see this now, but it makes me very excited for the future of the series again.
But let me. This is going to have to. I mean, it's not a spoiler because, as we mentioned last week, everyone knows Tyrant is in the game, right?
What?
Yeah, this is a very mild spoiler. So in Claire, because Gaz, you both did Leon A and then Claire B, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you get into where Marvin is, in the police station, when you sort of get in there,
yeah.
The same computer that Leon activates to see, I forget who, but the guy getting mauled by a zombie. It's not Marvin, the other cop.
Yeah.
In fact, the one that I think gets shut under the shutters.
Yeah.
When you look at that with Claire, you see Tyrant walking down the corridor, and he stops, and he looks at the camera, and he smashes the camera.
Yeah.
That was the moment where it was like, I'm done, because I'm to believe that it's a real... it's just my brain. I can't see past this. I appreciate others will have no problem with this, and Gaz, obviously, I think you didn't. But the fact that I say the game expects you to believe the story is running concurrently because you've just gone through it, and you meet up all these times, but the gameplay is asynchronous. It bothers the shit out of me that Tyrant... So what, he's chasing both of you at the same time? Like, I'm unlocking doors that should be unlocked at this point. It really bothers me. Not because it plays badly, but because that stuff, they could have gone deeper and further with it.
I get it. I just don't see it myself. It just didn't bother me.
No, and it is entirely a subjective thing. I mean, aren't all opinions, but you know what I mean? I know there will be people out there that, like me, that are bothered, but I think they'll be the minority. I think most people are going to love it, and like me, are just happy this game got made.
Yeah.
But I just feel like they could have done more. And I'm still excited because Resi's back, and a long time, like I say, I'm a lover of the series. But for me, that stuff doesn't work. Like, if you want... Like we said before, if the story is there, it either has to be good or we criticise it. And to me, the story is actually fine. Like, there's a lot of missing elements to this one. They could have improved the story. But to me, the fact that, again, I keep saying this because I feel like it's the only way I can describe it, is the story is running concurrently, and yet the things that you do aren't. And to me, they break the fiction of their own game. And I won't keep going on about Resi 2 because that's my. I've said my piece now. I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to go back to it now. And that's a shame.
It's a shame for you to say that, because I do think you should see it out. Because just to say, for example, and there's no spoiler here, but you have said one or two things to me in messages where I'm like, all right, just wait now till you finish, like, Claire's bit, like, such as like the ending of your first playthrough in general, like. It's worth I don't know if it's worth it, but just to see. Like, I think there's just some things that are.
All right,
I'll
tell you what. I'll do you both this without spoiling. I won't say any names. I will ask you a question. So, Leon A, the end of the game, there are 2 boss fights. I will not say who they are. I will not. Obviously, that is no. I mean, again, it's pretty obvious if you've played the game before. So there are 2 boss fights at the end of that game, in pretty quick succession. As Claire, in Claire B, do I have to do those same boss fights?
One of them, I think it is.
I'm out. Sorry. That's ridiculous. I've just done them. Like I am Adam playing through this game as Leon, and now at the end of that game,
I know what you mean, but do you not think that like in '98, like no, we never had problems with that kind of situation.
Right, but it's not '98, and this is a remake,
but
not a re-release.
That's what I think. I think we're kind of maybe there's a little bit more you're expecting.
But it's been years in the making. Why would I not expect that sort of stuff? Why should I not expect them to say, yes, we're remaking the game, but while we're doing it, let's improve it? Look at Shadow of the Colossus. They remade it, but they made the controls better. They've done that. They've done that with Resi 2. They've taken the controls, they've made them better. They've made the game feel better. Gary's the most staunch Resi fan of all of us. I would even concede that, and there's not many I would concede that to. But Gary, the controls in Resident Evil 2 2019, it plays better than the game that it's based on, doesn't it? It is a better playing game. Like, let's not pretend it isn't. And what I'm saying is, if you're going to improve that, improve everything. Take the time, make it like. I sound so angry, and I'm not.
There's no way I could say though that like when it comes to a remake, like what Shadow Colossus did and what this Resident Evil 2 remake did, it's kind of like similar in terms of quality. There's no way.
But you're asking for. But you're taking a game that was 3D already in Shadow of the Colossus and remaking it basically with better visuals. Like, that's what they've done there. Whereas Resi 2, they've remade it as a different kind of game.
But they've done a hell of a lot more stuff to talk about. Like, there's a lot more to talk about. And, like, showing off the engine and stuff. Like, there's...
Oh, God, the engine's incredible.
Yeah, it's actually mind-blowing. Like, I don't have a PS4 Pro... but I honestly got to see the game on like 4K screen PS4 and I was just like, holy shit, it looked
gorgeous.
And
I won't dispute that. I won't dispute that at all. I'm playing on Xbox One X and it looks amazing. I just you know how I felt about the Tyrant already.
Yeah.
And I just feel like a better decision would be that he's in one of those playthroughs because he's chasing down one of the characters, kind of the Nemesis thing.
I don't think that works.
But because that PlayStation is not big enough for you both to be in there at the same time. But yet, story-wise, they are.
The problem is, though, it's like he's there to wipe out basically witnesses, survivors.
Yeah, but again, like I said last week, he's not magic. He can't teleport. It is a police station. He's walking around.
Yeah, he does that. I've never known him to teleport during mine. He's always wandering around, and when it feels like he's appeared here, it's because he has actually made his way around.
That I agree with. But what I'm saying is, when you're playing as Claire the second time round, I
still think he should be there because he's there. I mean, I get the whole thing if you don't like the asynchronous thing and all that. That's fair enough. But I think because it is technically still set at the same time, to have Claire running through the police station and him not be there wouldn't make sense.
The frequency that it attacked me as Leon, that's what I'm saying. Again, it maybe is a thing that depended on what happened in your playthrough. But for me, the frequency he was on my ass as Leon, he can't possibly be near Claire. It bugs. I concede it probably bugs me more than it should, and maybe I had too high expectations. I feel like there is
a bit of I don't know, excessive criticism on this one.
I also feel like
just because it's a remake of a beloved game, I'm not letting it off, and I think it could be better.
Yeah.
To be fair, all games could be.
Absolutely. But like, I just,
I think this is the best thing they could have done with it.
I don't agree, and while the thing is, what bothers me is that while this is all supposed to be happening at the same time, it fucking isn't, and that breaks the world fiction for me. And for me, honestly, I think that's lazy, and that bothers me.
I don't know. I think that's a bit harsh.
That's fair. We're entitled to opinions, but I just don't think you can have a world where you say the story is that these two are meeting up and they're in the same sort of area, but never quite in the same sort of area. But yet at the same time, they're not, because Leon picked up a key and he didn't because Claire picked it up as well. It's like it's not two of everything. Or perhaps there is. Perhaps that's what we need. Perhaps we need the director to come out and say, Adam, there are two keys.
You don't have just one key to your house. I imagine like others have got that same key. So maybe. They could well be more than one key.
I think the points, like as I said, I think your points, Adam, are pretty valid, and I do really enjoy that it's been said this way, and it's like. For me, when me and Gaz were playing it, we were messaging her going, "Oh, it's amazing, it's amazing, amazing. We're just loving it, whatever." And I still stand by it, as I said, and I'm sure Gary, you're the exact same.
Yep.
But on reflection, there is certain things that obviously any game you think about and you go, "All right, cool, fair enough." With regarding the Tyrant, I didn't see this in my playthrough as such because I didn't focus on it as much. That dude is fucking dumb. Yep.
Do you know what? Can I just say before I forget? I will forget this if I don't say this. Do you know what I think would have made Tyrant 100% better? I would have not even had a problem with Tyrant being everywhere if they did go the Alien Isolation route. That he finds you, you're dead. It's a one-hit kill.
So the kind of big point for me where I was like, oh, that isn't great, is, do you know when you get your medallions and you get to go down that area?
Yeah.
If Tyrant appears, right, and you just go in, if you go into that little cubby hole, the steps, and turn around, he'll stand there, look at you, and then just walk away and go upstairs somewhere.
What? Because he can't get down there.
He can't get down.
It's because I kind of see why they did it. There's certain rooms that are safe rooms, so he can't go in.
No, definitely, right? But then that does have to be a situation where I'm like, I don't want to see this. Of course, because
that's a safe room, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But I don't want to see that. I don't want, because he's a big guy.
Yeah, have it scripted so he doesn't come. He walks past you. He doesn't see you.
Yeah, and he actually just goes away, and you can hear him stamping, and it sounds like he's just in a pout, and he's like, "Fucking bastard," and just goes away. But that's just they're only small things, but I didn't see that. It's just as I said, when my friend was playing it, he was like, "Do you ever see this?" And I was like, "Oh God, I didn't. That's hilarious." And there's more of that I am seeing throughout. I just that is to me just the weakest part of the game. Then everything else wise that you're saying, Adam, I do agree, but I don't think it bothered me as such, bar the gun. That gun thing was my next
gun's
gripe.
outrageous. I can't believe that's not been mentioned. I just... Let's move away from Resi, because I will say, please, our listeners, please don't hate me for not loving every aspect of this game. Please, I do really like it still. Thing is, I don't want to. I've got other games I want to play that I'm enjoying more, and I think Gary and I
tell him he has to finish it.
Because Gary and I had a similar thing about that, where we were saying look, if I'm not enjoying something and I haven't got to play it for work, so to speak, I want to enjoy stuff.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I would say, or at least encourage you to finish Declare B, just so you can.
You know what?
See
I should have played it on assisted. I should have played it on assisted.
I think you can knock it down. I think
you have to get killed a few times.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I really ummed and ahed over it just because of that assisted aiming. Cause I wish the aiming assist was not an assisted mode thing. I wish that was something you could have on in normal play. So they still take the same amount of bullets and the ammo and the health is the same, but I wish that just the aim assist could be turned on.
The only thing I'll say, Adam, I totally agree with what you're saying in terms of look, you just want to stop. No, can I just stop, play a game, whatever, right? But I just feel it is Resident Evil 2, and you do love the original.
I know.
Just you kind of just even if you walk away, you can turn around and go, "Fuck you, Adam, for telling me to play that to the end." But at least then you have the full package when it comes to Game of the Year chats and whatever. Do you know?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but let's move on. I want to just briefly mention multiplayer Subnautica Below Zero, which is another early access game. Quietly impressed with that. That's one to keep an eye on. Yeah, but I'm not going to mention any more. Just to say I am looking at it. Dreams. We all have dreams, but do we ever really dream?
Wow.
Sorry. Chris and I have had a little go off the Dreams Creator Beta, haven't we, Chris? Before we get into news.
Bloody have, yeah.
Okay, go on, Chris.
Oh, you expect?
I thought you had more.
I wasn't needed anywhere. No. Well, I've literally played about half an hour to 45 minutes. It seems this game has been made with a lot of love and real care and attention to making it something. It could be something really special. I've not unlocked a lot, and it's very hard to kind of explain what's actually going on at the minute. but there's a lot of scope to build stuff in this game.
People are making ridiculous shit. There's someone made like a little, like the opening of Zelda Ocarina of Time, almost like in Kikari Village.
That's crazy.
And someone made PT as well.
Someone's remade PT. There's a lot of horror games been made in here, and some of them are genuinely unsettling.
Because I looked at the menus and looked on you could search for people, can't you? So you could, and I went into, you can go into the worlds as well, can't you?
Yeah.
Can
you?
Well, I went and looked up. I searched for you, followed you. So yeah, thanks for the follow back, mate.
I've done that. Hang on, I've done that. I did that before we started recording. I didn't even know it was a thing.
I'm sorry, but I went. You can click on your world, so I can just go into your world. I don't think we can. Well, I don't know if we can communicate because I don't think you're online at that point. But,
yeah.
But I went into your world and had a little run around. But it was only the very, very start where you've got a bridge and some steps and some stuff like that. But it seems like it could be something really good. I need a lot more time of it to kind of get my head around it and unlock more stuff. But I think it could be something really good.
Yeah, I mean,
is there an actual game to this?
How do you mean?
You say you can go into other people's worlds. Are you a little character running round?
So you control an imp with its motion, because it's a VR and non-VR game. So you control a little imp, and that imp is motion controlled. By point and hold the controller and you move it and it moves. And with the imp, you can possess a character that can run around and jump around in the world. And so the idea is that, in the hub world, for example, there are this bit, Little Big Planet, the circular things are stickers.
Yeah.
You pick them up, but you have to get to them. So you go out of the body of your character and you use a sticker that is a set of steps. Then you possess the little character, jump up the steps, jump on and collect the sticker.
Yeah.
So it is sort of Little Big Planet 3D, but it's the things that people are creating that are just my only worry is that, how Little Big Planet's got quite a floaty jump to it.
Yeah.
Every platformer that people have built in this has that floaty jump. So I'm going to get into the creation stuff myself and see if there's a way of changing that, because people are making. I'm not overselling this. I'm genuinely serious. People are making games in this. It's like game dev toolkit type thing. It's like Unity that people are making.
It reminded me of that Project Spark that.
Yeah.
Well, basically failed on Xbox, but it didn't. To be fair, it didn't have Media Molecule behind it, and they've made games where people like Little Big Planet. Some of the levels that people made were actually completely different games. They didn't play Little Big Planet, and if it's like that, then I could see this doing well.
That, but 10,000 times more. So the start of it is kind of like a 3D platformer, I guess, is the way I would describe it, with the motion control stuff. But people have made first-person shooters in it.
Yeah.
Someone's made Cuphead. Someone's made a 3D Cuphead. It's not great, but they've made it. Someone has made there's loads of these horror games set on space stations. Someone's made a game that reminds me of Silent Hill: The Room.
So that's my thing. When I was playing it, how do you just build? Do you have to unlock every item? Because I couldn't get into a thing where I could just build something.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm going to do next. I mean, I just wanted to have an opinion on it, if you know what I mean, just to talk about it tonight. But I just had a look at other people's levels. There are 2D platformers, side scrollers. There are some really cool puzzle games. Someone's made Guitar Hero in it.
Oh, wow.
Where there's a highway and you press left, up, triangle and circle as the four things on the lanes. There are Marble Madness style games. There's 3D, 3D adventure games. There's just so much here. And again, this is just what people have made with the beta.
Yeah,
I'm well impressed with this. And
I want to try and make a platformer based around the caravan of bad opinions.
Oh, mate, because that's the other thing. So you can record dialogue.
Quickly, let's just go over that for 2 minutes here, Chris.
Yeah.
Give me the idea. What are we saying?
I don't know.
Are you controlling the caravan?
No, I think I don't know. We might have to have a random character, just a random character that goes on a quest, and the final boss is Gary there, just defending his bad opinions. I don't know. I'm spitballing at the minute. I haven't got.
I'm excited.
It's in pre-production.
Day one purchase.
I will try and come back to you with an actual game. I will do my best.
Excellent.
So, I nearly committed and said if he's going to do that, I'm going to make a 3D one where basically it's like a game show and you play as Gary and you have a character from a video game come along and Gary judges them and then that decides which level of the caravan he goes in. How are you guys? All right, you're right with this caravan stuff.
Yeah, because you're the current resident, so...
Yeah, well, so you say. But no, genuinely, Dreams is incredibly promising. My only concern is that if people are going to make platformers, it needs to not just have that floaty jump. We'll see. We're going to skim through news this week because there's not much of it, and we're going to get to some listener questions. Basically, we talk about the PS Plus stuff, For Honor, and Hitman the first season. That's a pretty good month, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, especially Hitman. Fantastic first season that was. Absolutely brilliant.
I have seen one thing which kind of bothered me. Yeah. I forget who it was, but I did see someone, I think it was on Twitter, basically saying, because this is the last month that PS3 and Vita are on, they should be giving away like 10 games for those to be like, thanks. Like, how entitled are you?
Well, they're giving away Metal Gear Solid 4, so it's a pretty big game.
Yeah, it's like you've been getting stuff all this time. It's not like suddenly... these. Let's face it, the Vita is dead. I don't care what people say, but it's been dead for ages. People have just kept going, oh, but it's still there. There's still games. It's like there are, but they're basically just ports of games that you'd be able to play on your PS4 and it'd be better. So it's just like, just fuck off.
They're also updating, by the way, the online save storage to 100 gig from 10, I think it was.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I don't know how many games that would use up that much, but it is still.
It's
nice
weird because some games have absurd storage and some don't.
Yeah, that's true.
From a decent month for PlayStation Plus to Xbox One's games with gold. Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon, which is an alright game. Super Bomberman R, which is an alright game. Assassin's Creed Rogue, which is a good game. And Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, which is actually an Xbox. Well, I was going to say an Xbox One game, no, and an Xbox original game. Not quite as strong a month, I think it's fair to say.
I still think it's a good month. I've been sort of and ahhing over Curse of the Moon for a while, so
it's quite good.
Yeah, finally being able to play it and not having to pay for it, which is nice. I'll finally play it.
But it's all right.
And the Jedi Academy is great.
Yeah, good game. So. Yeah. The Division 2 private beta is going to have end game content in it, which suggests that the beta is kind of a demo as well, because it sounds like it'd be a mishmash, because I don't know how that would work unless it's a substantial beta.
Yeah, it's like what you've got up to level 7, I think it is, like through the normal one, but they're adding like an end game mission essentially where you get to play. I can't remember what it is. I think it's like a level 30 mission, and you get to see the 3 different classes.
Right.
So I'm guessing it's like you can play the normal sort of as if it's like from the start, but you can also, if you want, jump forward and just see what sort of things will be different later on. Which is, I think it's actually not a bad idea, because it gives you an idea of like, if you're gonna buy this game, you're gonna be playing it a while. It's almost like saying, is it gonna be worth it? Like if you play like the end game mission on this, is it different enough for you to go, oh, actually, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing the path to that.
I mean, I'm looking forward to Division 2. I think more than Anthem, which is, we didn't even talk about Anthem this week. We'll talk about Anthem next week, perhaps, because Chris has played lots of Anthem. So we'll get to that, but time is a finite thing as well. Darksiders War Master Edition, just very briefly, coming to Switch, April 2nd.
Yeah, I'll be having that.
Yep.
I'll happily play Darksiders again and have it on handheld. That'd be nice.
Am I being naive to hope that it will look decent and run well, given how old a game that is?
I think it will.
It will.
It won't run at 4K like the Xbox version, though.
No, I mean, I don't know if it'd be like a 60 frames game. I don't think it'd be that, but I think it'll be. I think it'll be at least 30 frames, and it'll be.
It'll be very playable.
Yeah, I think it will essentially be like playing the.
Box quote. Very playable.
Very playable.
I imagine it'll be just like playing the 360 PS3 version.
That's the equivalent of what Adam said there, of when you go on a blind date and afterwards they say, what do you think of her? She was nice. Listener correspondence time.
I'm glad you didn't say she was very playable.
Fucking hell, guys. Gary, that's very good. I'm going to give you a little clap. That's excellent. Very quick. Let's start with some questions. This is slightly gaming related due to Kingdom Hearts. We'll start with an easy one from Lyle Carr here at Fish Chips Whips. Great username on Twitter. What's your favourite Disney Pixar film? Oh, sorry, Disney or Pixar film? Gary, I think I know the answer, but go for it.
Lion King.
Okay, I didn't know the answer. Fair enough.
If we're going Disney Pixar, then it'd be probably...
They're two different beasts,
No,
though.
he's saying Disney or Pixar.
It does look like Disney or Pixar. So, I'll stick with the Lion King.
Give us your favourite Disney and your favourite Pixar.
There we go.
Lion King and it's between it's between Toy Story or The Incredibles.
No, you can't have
Pixar
two.
One.
You've already got two, and it's supposed to be one.
I'm going to go with The Incredibles then.
Okay, so Lion King and Incredibles. Okay, Adam.
The Aristocats and probably Toy Story 3.
3?
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
Good choice.
Okay.
Very good
3
choice.
is incredible.
Wow. Chris?
Robin Hood and Little John are running through the forest. That's Robin Hood.
Okay, thanks.
All right. And Wall-E.
Oh, Wall-E.
Yeah, another good choice. Another good choice.
Pixar's are the tough ones, like, because then you got Up, you got Wall-E, you got
Coco. That was fantastic.
Coco, man, like Pixar is.
Coco, I don't think was as strong. It's still
Gary,
a very good film.
Guys.
And he's taking it back. The crown is back to the rightful home.
Yeah,
I think it's one of the weaker ones, though.
Here's
the
your
Pixar
keys, mate.
films.
Thanks for lending me your keys for the weekend. But you can have them back now. Don't need the caravan anymore.
I think my dreams game is just going to be guys trying to avoid copies of Coco getting thrown at them.
No, I really enjoyed Coco, but I don't think it's anywhere near the strongest of the Pixar films. Like, I don't even think it's close to it. I think it's like middling at best.
Cars is shit. Cars 2 is shit. Cars 3 is shit.
Cars is brilliant. Cars 2 is me.
How
Cars
can you say Coco's weak and then Cars is brilliant?
Yeah,
Cars is a very good film. It's very underrated.
Oh, it turned into bomb.
Yeah, but the first one didn't.
Cars 2 wasn't great. Cars 1 and Cars 3 are very good.
Mine, I've got to give mine, haven't I? I was gonna say The Lion King, but since Gaz has had that, I'll go with.
It's still your favourite.
No,
so
yeah, but I'll just to be different because there's loads of them. Isn't it? I will go with. It's between Jungle Book and Lady and the Tramp.
Oh man.
Ooh.
I think I'm going to go with Lady and the Tramp.
Should have gone with the Jungle Book.
Well, all right, bit late for that. Where were you 5 seconds ago? Pixar-wise, I think I'm going to go with Up. Ratatouille.
Would you pick Ratatouille?
I do like. No, I'm going to pick Up because, like, I don't think it's possible
Should
to
have picked
watch.
Ratatouille.
Fuck's sake! I don't think it's possible to watch the intro to Up without crying.
No, Up is incredible.
Up broke me because that he just reminded me of my granddad.
Yeah.
So seeing like that entire opening was just like, I might as well have just been fucking bawling my eyes out for the first 20 minutes.
Think about the whole film. The whole film is so sad because he is now on his own. So he's kind of just taken this kid in almost. You know what I mean? It's like he's just desperate for companionship. And like the intro of that film is. It's so sad. It's the last of us levels of intro. That is. Wow.
That kid in Up is my hero.
It's the dog for me. Just
Squirrel. Dog is also a hero.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty flawless movie, in fact.
It's very, very good.
So, I'm going to go with... What did I say? I said Lady and the Tramp and Up, I think. Or Up, if you're northern. Up north. Kieran at McPoo says, why do JRPG characters all have spiky hair?
Because they love Brill Cream.
It's as good an answer as any.
It's as good as an answer, really, because I couldn't give you a real answer.
It is a fair question.
It's just it's a very Japanese style, isn't it?
It is, but some of them go too far. Like Sora in Kingdom Hearts, if you actually look at it when they show him from behind, like that's not hair. Hair doesn't do that.
No,
maybe it just highlights the cheap animation.
Well, Thomas at LlamaFluff42 says the Whisper Gold makes all other chocolates superfluous. Discuss. Nah, sorry, Thomas. Sorry, you're wrong.
Whisper Gold doesn't exist in Ireland
I
anymore.
don't even think I've ever had Whisper Gold.
Wait, what?
What?
Yes, it's like the fucking famine all over.
Wow.
Never find them.
I do like a wisp of gold, but
yeah.
Well, I don't know. Are we going to go there? What's our favourite?
No, they haven't. No one's asked that, and I don't think we should do that in this podcast. It's already quite long.
Oh, FYI, Karamak. Even though you probably don't class that as a chocolate bar.
No, well, no, it is. What do you mean?
I don't know.
Why would you not count a Karamak as a chocolate bar?
I've had a conversation before with someone that didn't let me.
Well, they're wrong.
Thanks, mate.
Hey, sorry there, no, right? Just on the talk of food here, right, lads? I've had Battenberg.
Oh, yeah.
Well, save that because that feels. Now go on. It says there's no Patreon section this week, so go on. You may as well just out.
Talk about Battenberg, is this?
Well, that was what it was
Thanks
gonna
for signing up.
You
The
ruined it now.
Battenberg review with Adam Carroll.
No, just go for it. Go Battenberg.
Not for me, lads.
No, I'm with
Not
you, mate.
for me.
I'm with you.
I don't understand.
I was baffled listening to that podcast, thinking, rating
I'm at least I will I'll at least give you the benefit of the doubt because it isn't for everyone.
No,
and at least you tried it.
But I feel I might like. Do you know when you do this kind of thing and you don't know, like, is this the proper stuff, like, or is this the cheap version of it, or what? You know, I was given like a tray of like finger size versions, like 6.
The little mini Battenbergs.
Why you went wrong?
What you call him, a piggly wink?
No, he said no one said that. I said
I don't even know where that came
Kipling.
from.
I said Kipling, and Gary said the mini Battenbergs.
All the talking made it sound like piggly winks. But like,
right.
Let's just say,
I'm going to cut that because I'm using that. That's going to be my new favourite chocolate bar, the Piggly Winks.
But so I had, and like, is it supposed to have like sugar all around it?
Yeah.
Okay, right, yeah. I don't think, being 30 now, I think I can't do this kind of food anymore. I think if you gave me that when I was like 15 or something, I'd be like all about it. But it's too much. It's too bad. Like I just bit into it and I was like, I need to go to the dentist.
Well, the less you have, the more.
Or the toilet.
Yeah. Well, let's stick with vegetables.
The dentist or the toilet? It's a very, very different thing.
Well, you know, my stomach can be quite sensitive after an amount of sugar. And that's that.
Let's stick with food. David Ayres asks, what's your favourite vegetable and why?
No.
I mean, I can go if you guys aren't ready.
I'll tell you right now, if somebody on this podcast says turnip, you're out.
I know what I want to say, but I want you to say it for me. I like a potato.
Oh, mate, I don't know if I've got to cut that.
But hang on, is that a vegetable?
Yeah.
Would you consider?
Yeah.
What would we?
What would it be if it isn't a vegetable?
A potato.
Right, well, I'm going to say it then. My favourite vegetable is a butternut squash because it looks like a penis.
I know.
So does an aubergine.
No, it doesn't. I don't understand
that. It's got a
that.
bend to it. It's got a. Well, it's like mine.
So it looks like a porn star's penis. Oh, hang on.
No.
Come on, Adam.
Podcast has just suddenly taken a very weird turn.
I'm just saying here, lads.
I'm
on the Wikipedia of potato. And
did you have that bookmarked, Adam? Please.
And like, there is nothing here with the word vegetable in it.
A potato grows in the ground.
But I don't think it's a vegetable. Like, a potato isn't good for you. Vegetables are supposed to be good for you.
Potatoes
aren't good for you.
Adam, I'm sorry. Potatoes are botanically classed as a vegetable, but they are classified nutritionally as a starchy food.
What the hell are you reading that?
Just Google. I literally Googled, is the potato a vegetable? I don't know why I put the potato, like it's a person. Potatoes are not a vegetable. Tell us in the comments. Do you consider a potato a vegetable?
There we go.
But what's your favourite vegetable?
Don't rush me. This is a very good topic.
It's the wrong podcast for it.
I love it. I love a carrot massively. Yeah. I love Brussels sprouts.
Yes.
No, they are controversial in that sense. But I love all vegetables. Turnip is a bit like... I had this conversation this morning with my mother about turnips, and I was like, they're fucking awful.
They are.
Like,
yeah,
just
rubbish.
Yeah.
So, Gaz, what's your favourite vegetable?
See, I would have gone for potato, but it's not been chosen. So I'm going to go for a humble pea. The peas. I do like some peas.
The petit pois?
Somebody, surely, you can't pick a pea. You can't, because that's just going to make people think of Spitting Image, and John and Norma Major pushing the peas around the plate and Spitting Image. You can't pick a pea. You can't pick a pea. That is that's the brown of vegetables, isn't it?
Well, I've picked vanilla ice cream before, so I can go for peas. I'm going to say that surely potato is more vanilla than peas.
Absolutely.
Come
not.
on.
There's literally.
It's like it's the one that everyone has.
Yeah.
Like,
I actually would say I'd pick a plate of peas over just a straight up potato. Like you'd have unless there was like salt and butter put into the potato, I'm like, all right, cool. But peas are just banging on their own.
they're not.
Sorry. Let's stick with food. Thomas asked another food-related question. Branston small chunk pickle on cheese versus normal Branston on cheese, which is best? Small chunk pickle for me, definitely.
I wouldn't have either.
Get that shit away from me.
Fucking disgusting.
Jesus. What's the difference with what's in the normal one?
Well, no, it's basically the small chunk pickle is basically literally that instead of being a big chunky pickle, it's like little bits.
Oh, Jesus bollocks! I go for the normal one. That'd be the business on the cheese.
I'd go small, but I probably wouldn't mind. Cheese and pickle's great.
Yeah.
Not really a question. Matthew Fallon at Fallon832 says. But he says, apparently my picture makes me look Irish, so he always reads my tweets in Irish. Or your voice, Adam. Which is really confusing, given that we're both called Adam, both have a surname starting with C.
That's just madness, Matthew.
Can you look Irish? Do I look Irish? I don't look Irish. Well, I've got Irish
I
family.
don't know how you look Irish, though.
Well, how do you look anything?
Yeah. How does one look Irish? Because I'll tell you, lads, when I was in Canada, I was able to tell who was Irish, and it was the first time I was like, Jesus, we actually look very weird.
So you're saying what you're basically saying is you're a massive racist, Adam.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm not
you look
racist.
at people and go, well, he looks Irish.
Well, no, like I'm basically saying, geez, that fella looks like, well, he's going around in a fucking GAA jersey, so that kind of gives it away as well. So,
right,
yeah.
Moving on. I suppose I don't know. Like I say, do I look Irish, Adam?
I'm
not. I have got Irish family somewhere, but
you maybe do. Well, like, do you know what?
Maybe do.
I'd like Matthew to send in his response to that for the next podcast. I want to know why.
Why I look Irish?
Yeah,
but I don't want to know that, because what if it's something really horrible? You know, he's like,
well, look, it's not all about you.
That is when he's literally describing how I appear. Oh, I don't care. I'm a big boy. I couldn't give a shit. I've been called everything.
So, please, Matthew, you know where we are. All in the same room together every week. Send us along why Adam Cook looks Irish.
And last question. Thomas also sent in, what are your favourite real world cars? Forget supercars and the like. I mean cars you could actually realistically buy without a lottery win.
I'm quite partial to the Alpha Giulietta. Quite like that.
Isn't that a Shakespeare book?
Oh dear.
Tumbleweed. Sorry. We've done a long podcast. There's always going to be one miss when there's so many hits. I drive a Citroen, and I like them a lot. I've had a lot of my last two cars have been Citroens. Well, it should only be one, but someone smashed me off the road in the other one, so that was that. I do like a Citroen. I find them very comfortable cars, nice driving. I quite like Renaults as well. It's not the most interesting topic, I'm not going to lie.
I'm just going to say fucking Land Rover.
I'm surprised Gary didn't say Ford after vanilla and peas. Morris Minor.
You leave his pea thing alone.
Morris Minor.
Chris, you got any car preferences?
Oh, God, I don't know where to start. I'm all about the Nissans, mate.
Okay.
The Nissan number
Nissan.
4. Yeah, that one. I don't know anything about cars. I'm really sorry.
I'll ask
I know
a question.
Fuck all.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'll ask a question.
I would buy a Reliant Robin because I like the infos and horses. So
I can imagine Chris on a motorbike, if I'm honest with you. Leather jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Cucumber down the trousers.
I went through a phase of being fascinated by motorbikes when I watched Long Way Round. I don't know if you remember it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good show.
Fucking awesome show that was.
Yeah,
so I knew a
was a
fair
great
bit
show.
about it, yeah. I wanted to be on the road with him.
I mean, this is just to Gary, I think, because I don't think Adam and Chris are too fussed about cars. But Gaz, do you drive or do you not drive?
I don't. I need to learn, actually.
But you know a lot about cars, right? So what would be your dream car if money was no object?
The
Ford.
Dodge Viper.
Okay. Dodge
Specifically, like the one from sort of 95, 96.
So I'm going to tell you mine, and the thing is, I feel like of all people, you might be judging me based on this because you're so into your cars. Okay. Aston Martin DB9.
No, that's a nice car.
Thank you.
Is that the James Bond car?
No, that's the DB8. Thank you. I was just going to
Yeah,
say that,
see?
Chris. You just...
So I know about cars.
DB9, but unfortunately I would have to sell my house and just live in the car to afford one of those.
I'd get the Knight Rider.
And Adam would have the Back to the Future car, of course.
Would you have the Hoffman in the car as well?
Yeah. You can't do that, Christopher. You're not allowed to do that. Oh, shut up, car. Okay, yeah, maybe we have glorious conversations. That's,
That's not the gear stick, Chris.
What are you doing? Get your fingers out of my dashboard. Yeah, it'd be very erotic.
I think that is pretty much as far as we can go with this podcast. No Patreon section this week because, quite frankly, we are running long, and I'm just going to tell the truth. I'm really hungry. I don't know about you lot.
Oh, man, yeah.
Always, but normally we give you an extended section on this is actually going to get super early to Patreon backers this week, but normally we give you a little bit of a extra bit there, but also go to patreon.com/GodIsAGeek, $1 a month, so it works out at basically a tenner a year. If more people do that, we get to go to events last month actually, now because it's February today. Last month we actually got invited to a load of events, but we couldn't attend them. That was Rage 2, that was Far Cry 5. What else was there, Chris? There was a few, wasn't there? There was, was Trials Rising. There was
the Metro,
and there was another one. I can't remember, but we just couldn't make it. A combination of time, finances, and availability. The Patreon literally pays our train tickets to go to some of these places. Well, Anthem, you did go to. That was paid for by our patrons.
Yep.
We'll have a video interview soon. I forget who you spoke to, but you spoke to someone about Anthem. Let's hope they worked on the game and it wasn't just someone off the street.
Yeah, one of the producers at BioWare.
Mm-hmm. And that will go to Patrons early.
Sorry.
Won't it? So, do you remember who it was?
Oh, I've got the name somewhere.
Don't worry about it. People will know when it's up there. Patrons get that first. Furley? That was an early and first. I've lost the ability to speak. Really am thinking about food now. Especially thanks to all these food. I really fancy some cheese and pickle. I'm not going to lie. Might have to get the crackers out. Anyway, go to patreon.com because you will get those kind of things early. We also like to give away codes to our patrons. It's fallen apart. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you to Adam, Chris and Gary. We hope you've really enjoyed this podcast. I know I've enjoyed being on it. I love these guys. I love that we can have a chat about Resi 2 like we did, where Gary and I are quite opposed. We're still friends at the end of it, and we get to share our unique perspective on the video gaming world. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
No one's going to pick up that I just said thanks for watching, even though there's no cameras present whatsoever. We will speak to you next week, or whenever you choose to listen. Please back the Patreon. I'm going mad. Bye-bye.